The sky was clear that night. No clouds, no wind. Just stars shining above the small town of Grayford. Ethan Walker, a young mechanic, was walking home after a long day at the garage. He lived alone in a small house near the forest, far from the town noise. He liked quiet, but tonight, something felt strange. Suddenly, a loud boom echoed from the woods nearby. The ground shook. Birds flew from the trees. A bright blue light lit up the sky for a second and disappeared. Ethan froze. What the hell was that? He whispered without thinking. He ran toward the noise. He grabbed his flashlight and pushed through the thick trees. Leaves crunched under his boots. The air smelled like burning metal. And he saw it. A deep crater in the ground. Smoke rising. And in the center, a figure. A girl. She wasn't human. Her skin was pale, almost silver. Her hair glowed softly in the dark. She wore a strange, torn suit with glowing blue lines. One arm was badly hurt, and her face was covered in dirt and blood. Ethan stepped closer, his heart pounding. "Are you okay?" Her eyes opened slowly. They were bright, too bright, like stars. She looked at him and whispered something in a language he didn't understand. Then she spoke again, this time in broken English. "Help. Earth. Danger." Ethan blinked. "You're an alien?" She nodded weakly. "Name, Lyra. I come. Warn before they come." She tried to stand, but collapsed. Ethan didn't know what to do. His brain screamed to run, to call someone, but something in her voice, in her eyes, made him stay. He picked her up gently. "All right, Lyra, let's get you out of here." Back at his house, Ethan laid her on his old couch and cleaned her wounds. She flinched, but didn't fight. Her breathing was shallow. Her suit made quiet clicking sounds, like it was broken. He gave her water. She drank slowly. "Why are you here?" he asked. She looked into his eyes and said, "They come. Dark ones. Kill stars. Kill all." "Who?" "Zorth. They find. They destroy." Ethan didn't understand. Was this some kind of dream? But her fear? It was real. He nodded. "Okay, you're safe here." Lyra stared at the ceiling. "No safe." "Nowhere. Earth next." Ethan felt a chill run through him. The next morning, Ethan heard helicopters in the sky. News reports were already talking about a meteor crash in the Grayford forest. But Ethan knew better. He looked at Lyra. She was awake now, sitting up. Her eyes looked sad. "Why me?" he asked. "Why did I find you?" she said softly. "You believe. Others will not." That same day, Ethan took Lyra's message and made a video. He filmed her warning. Her suit made small projections images of dead planets, destroyed cities, and giant black ships in space. He uploaded it to the internet. Within hours, people were laughing, commenting, calling it fake, calling him crazy. Ethan watched, heart sinking. "They don't believe you." Lyra didn't react. She just said, "They will." Too late. That night, Ethan stood outside his house, staring at the sky. He had so many questions. Why Earth? Why now? Could she be lying? But in his heart, he believed her. Every word. Then something happened. A red dot appeared on his chest. Sniper. He dove down just as a silent drone flew overhead and fired. The side of his house exploded in flames. He crawled back inside, coughing. "Lyra, we have to go," he shouted. She was already on her feet, limping. "They found me." "Who?" he asked, grabbing a bag and some tools. "Zorth have spies on Earth." The fire spread quickly. Ethan helped her out the back and into his truck. They drove fast into the night. not knowing who to trust or where to go. One thing was clear. She was telling the truth. And now, the danger wasn't coming. It had already begun. Asterisk hook. They hid in the shadows, but Lyra's eyes were locked on the stars. "We don't have time," she said. "They've already touched your sky." The old truck rattled as Ethan drove through the hills. Dust and wind whipped past them. His hands gripped the wheel tight. Beside him, Lyra stared at the sky like it might fall at any second. They had escaped the burning house. But now they were alone, with nowhere safe to go. "Are they following us?" Ethan asked. Lyra closed her eyes. "Not yet, but they will." "Who are they really, Lyra? You keep saying Zorth. What are they?" She turned to him. Her voice was low, cold. "They eat stars." Ethan blinked. "What?" "Not food. Power. Life. They take all light, all sound. Planets turn dark. No air. No soul. Just death." He didn't speak for a moment. She pulled something from her suit, small and round. It lit up, and suddenly a projection floated above her hand. It showed a planet blue and green, like Earth, but then black ships filled the screen. The sky turned red. The planet cracked. And then, silence. Ethan felt his stomach twist. "That was my world," Lyra whispered. "Now nothing is left. I am last." They stopped in an empty barn far from town. No phone signal. No cameras. Just old wood, broken tools, and silence. Ethan lit a small lantern. Lyra sat on a crate, hands shaking. "Earth must prepare," she said. "You must tell your leaders, your armies, everyone." "I tried," he said. "They called me a joke." Lyra looked down. "Same as before. My people sent warnings. Many times. All ignored." She pointed to the sky again. "But I see it. Small signs. Quiet storms. The Zorth test your sky." "What does that mean?" "They tap your satellites, your space stations. They listen, watch, and strike." Ethan remembered something. A few weeks ago, one of our satellites just disappeared. No one knew why. Lyra nodded. That was their touch, their first whisper. Ethan paced back and forth. "We need help. Someone has to listen." She hesitated, then said, "There may be one." The next day, they traveled again, this time, to the edge of an old military testing ground. Lyra had studied human networks. She had found one name, General Marcus Hawley, retired, known for fighting off-world threats before they were public. When they reached his cabin, Hawley aimed a gun at Ethan the moment he stepped on the porch. "Step back. I don't do interviews." "We're not media," Ethan said quickly. "We need help." Hawley narrowed his eyes until Lyra stepped forward. His face changed. "What the hell?" Lyra raised her hand slowly, showing no threat. "I come too. Help save your planet." Hawley didn't move for a long moment. Then he lowered the gun. Inside, Lyra told everything. Ethan watched the old general's face harden as she spoke of worlds dying, of spies on Earth, of a threat no army could stop alone. Hawley poured himself a drink. "I've heard stories, whispers, crashed probes, lost data, black satellites." He looked at her. "So they're real?" Lyra nodded. "And they're close." He stood slowly. "Then we've got a problem. Because no one up top will believe you. And if the Zorth already have eyes here, then we're not just running out of time." He looked at Ethan. "We're already behind." As night fell again, Lyra stood outside, watching the sky. Ethan joined her. "Why Earth?" he asked. "Why? Not another world?" Lyra didn't answer right away. Then she said softly, "Because your people still hope." A long silence. Then she looked at him. "You believed me when no one else did." Ethan looked up at the stars. What now? Her voice turned sharp. We warn the world again. And this time, we don't ask. We show them. Asterisk, the window shattered before the warning came. Lyra didn't scream. She grabbed Ethan's hand and whispered, "They found us." The silence inside General Hale's cabin didn't last long. Old Soldier had barely begun uploading Lyra's warning to his private server when every screen in the room turned black. Static. Then, a voice, cold, inhuman, returned the subject. "This is your final chance." Ethan backed away from the screen. "Is that them?" Lyra's face turned pale. Zorth machine voice. "They see us." Suddenly, a loud bang. The front window shattered. A black drone hovered outside, long, sharp, almost insect-like. It aimed down. Hale shouted. He pulled Ethan and Lyra to the floor, just as the drone fired a pulse blast. The wall behind them cracked open like paper. The cabin shook. Lyra grabbed Ethan's hand and pulled him toward the back. "We have to run." "No," Hale barked. "There's a truck in the shed. Go. I'll cover you." The three burst through the back door. Hale stayed behind, loading an old plasma rifle. "Go," he shouted. Ethan and Lyra made it to the shed. Just as two more drones appeared in the sky, Ethan jumped into the truck. Lyra crawled in beside him, bleeding from her shoulder. The engine groaned, but started. The chase had begun. Ethan drove fast. Too fast. The old truck bounced over rocks and dirt. Trees blared past. Behind them, the drones gave chase, their red lights blinking through the night like hungry eyes. "They're faster than us," Ethan yelled. "Forest," Lyra said. "Thicker. Trees, slow them down." Ethan swerved off the path and into the wild. Branches slammed the windshield. He could barely see, but the drones began to lose them. One slammed into a tree and exploded in a blue flash. Another kept going. Then suddenly silence. Asterisk gone. Ethan stopped the truck, breathing hard. "I think we lost them." Lyra looked out. "The window?" "No, they're calling others." They hid the truck deep in a cave and lit no fire. Inside the cold stone walls, Ethan wrapped her wound in cloth. "Why now?" he asked. "Why are they chasing you? You said they wipe out planets. Why not just destroy Earth?" Lyra stared into the dark. "Because I ran." "From what?" "They found me on a research ship. I escaped, took stolen data. They want it back." "What kind of data?" "Where they'll strike next. How to stop them." Ethan's eyes widened. "You have a way to fight them?" Lyra looked down. "Maybe, but I need time, and time is short." The next day, the news showed Ethan's face on every screen. Wanted. Suspect linked to alien hoax and military theft. Extremely dangerous. They blamed him for the attack. Called him a traitor. Said he had stolen weapons. Ethan stared at the broadcast in disbelief. "They're turning the whole world against us." Lyra nodded. "It's how Zorth works. Confuse. Distract. Divide. We can't stay hidden forever," Ethan said. "We need someone else. Someone powerful enough to listen." Lyra slowly opened her suit and pulled out a small glowing cube. "There is one more hidden AI node, buried deep under human ground. It may listen." "Where?" She looked at him. "Antarctica." Later that night, as they hiked to an abandoned train station, Lyra paused. Her head tilted slightly. "What is it?" Ethan asked. "They're scanning," she said quietly. "Right now, searching for my signal." Ethan frowned. "So how do we stay hidden?" She closed her eyes and pressed two fingers to her temple. Her skin shimmered slightly, then dimmed. "My light is off. But I can't do this for long." The train they boarded was empty. A cargo train, slow, cold. but quiet as it moved through. The silent countryside. Lyra leaned her head on Ethan's shoulder. "You should have left me," she whispered. "I couldn't," Ethan said. "Why?" He looked out the window at the stars. "Because you're the only one who told the truth." As the train rolled deeper into the night, neither of them saw the black ship moving far above them, silent, smooth, and watching. The Zorth didn't lose their prey. They hunted, and they had just marked Ethan's DNA. Asterisk, her warning echoed across the world. And they turned it into a meme. The video leaked. It wasn't Ethan who did it. It wasn't General Hall. Someone else, maybe a hidden watcher, had found the signal. Within hours, every major news channel was showing the footage. The alien girl. Her glowing eyes. Her warning. The Zorth are coming. They take planets. Earth is next. And then, laughter. Talk shows mocked it. "You expect us to believe some space elf came down to warn us?" What is this? A movie trailer. Clips of Lyra's message were turned into remixes. Dance videos, memes. One video added cartoon sunglasses to her face and had her say, "Earth is doomed, yo." The internet loved it. Ethan watched all of it from a hidden bunker beneath an old mine shaft. His hands shook. "They think it's a joke," he said quietly. Lyra sat in the corner silent. She had seen this before. It always ended the same way. "Humans love to laugh at the dark," she whispered, "until it swallows them." But not everyone laughed. Far across the country, a man sat alone in a dark room. The windows were covered. The walls were lined with maps of space, red pins, blue lines, strange photos with no sources. He didn't laugh at the video. He leaned forward, pressed pause, rewound, zoomed in on Lyra's face. He knew that look. Had seen it once, many years ago, in the eyes of a dying alien prisoner, one who spoke of a coming wave. A wave no world had stopped. His name was Commander Rourke. Retired, forgotten, but not out of the fight. In the bunker, Ethan was pacing. "No one's coming," he said. "The world thinks we're insane." Lyra looked up. "Then we show them the one thing they can't ignore." "What?" She stood slowly, limping over to her broken tech cube. "A piece of their future. A glimpse." She pressed the cube. It buzzed, flashed red. Then something new appeared. A live simulation. It showed Earth, cracking, oceans boiling, cities falling, skies burning with black fire. A message blinked. At the bottom, Zorth simulated strike. 4% COMP. Ethan swallowed hard. "That's just 4%? Lyra nodded. "It will happen, unless we change the story." Commander Rourke called someone he hadn't spoken to in years. A woman deep in government defense. "I saw the footage," he said. She chuckled. "You're not buying into that alien nonsense too, are you?" He didn't answer. Instead, he uploaded old classified files, photos of destroyed planets, signal logs, a fragment of a strange black ship orbiting Neptune. 5 years ago, covered up as a comet. There was silence on the line. Then she said, "Where did you get this?" "I never stopped watching," Rourke replied. Back in the bunker, Lyra winced. In pain, her body was weakening. Earth's atmosphere was too heavy for her kind. "You need to rest," Ethan said. "No time," she replied. "They're closer now." She looked up at him. "When they strike, Earth will go dark first. No internet, no power, no air." Ethan nodded slowly. "Then we have to move before that happens." He opened a map. "Where's this buried eye system you talked about?" Lyra pointed far south, below the ice. "Deep inside your forgotten base. Project White Echo. Your kind sealed it, feared it, but now we need it." Commander Rourke's jet was already flying toward that same location. He had made his choice. He was the first to believe. And soon, He would be the first to fight. In the sky above Earth, something passed behind the moon. It didn't reflect light. It didn't blink. But it was watching. And counting down. Asterisk first. The skies went silent. Then the moon blinked. High above Earth. Every satellite stopped working within 6 minutes. No warning. No explosion. Just silence. Astronomers stared at their blank monitors in shock. Communication stations began reporting static across every global frequency. Military bases thought it was a cyber attic, but Lyra knew better. They're here, she whispered. In the frozen white of Antarctica. Ethan helped her out of the transport truck. They stood in front of an old steel door, half buried in the wall. Snow, this is it? He asked. Lyra nodded. Human base. Shut down 18 years ago. You called it White Echo. I read it in your networks. It holds a sleeping intelligence, one built to protect, but locked away because it feared you. Commander Rourke had already arrived by helicopter. He met them at the entrance with frost on his beard and a gun slung over his back. You made it, he said to Ethan. I believed her, Ethan replied. Rourke looked at Lyra. Let's wake the ghost. They moved through the frozen tunnel's metal walls, lined with frost and broken wires. The deeper they went, the warmer it got. Finally, they reached a giant black chamber. A strange voice echoed from the walls. Identity check. Error. Unknown. Entity detected. Lyra stepped forward. I am not your enemy. The system paused. Then answered. Alien presence registered. Threat level, undetermined. Ethan stepped beside her. Please, we need help. Earth is in danger. The chamber lights turned red, defying danger. Lyra raised the cube and uploaded the Zorth data. The screen lit up planet after planet lost. Ships vaporized. The same pattern. The same end. Then, finally, silence. The AI replied. Request accepted. Initializing Earth Defense Protocol Zeta. Back on the surface, the sky began to change. The stars dimmed. The moon turned gray, then flickered. Not a trick of light. Not a shadow. The moon blinked. All over the world. People looked up. Some laughed at first. And came the noise. A low hum, like thunder stuck in your chest. Birds fell from the sky. Oceans rippled without wind. And then, a shadow passed over Earth. Ship. No. A fortress. Massive. Silent. Cold. Larger than the moon itself. In New York, London, Tokyo, sirens wailed. People panicked. Cars crashed. Governments scrambled. And finally, humanity understood. The warning wasn't a joke. That it wasn't a prank. It was a countdown. Inside the base, alarms blared. The AI spoke again. Zorth flagship in low orbit. Defensive weapons offline. Enemy weapons detected. Estimated time to surface. Strike, 27 minutes. Rourke shouted, What can we do in 27 minutes? Lyra stepped forward. You have one weapon strong enough. The AI. Ethan looked at her. You mean this system? She nodded. But it needs a voice. A human mind, too. Unlock it fully. Rourke's eyes narrowed. You mean a human must link to it? Lyra looked at Ethan. You, she said. It has to be you. The floor shook. Above ground. The Zorth had begun deploying something. Black spheres that hovered in the sky and pulsed with blue light. Cities below began to lose power. Gravity wavered. The countdown had begun. And deep underground, a simple human, a mechanic, stood before the last hope Earth had left. Asterisk. Ethan pressed his palm to the glowing core. The system paused, then said, Human will accept it. The air inside the buried base trembled. Dust fell from the ceiling. A deep pulse echoed through the walls, like a giant heart awakening. Ethan stood in front of the AI's control pillar. Lights circled around him. Lyra whispered, If you do this, your mind will be linked. You'll feel things you're not ready for. But the system won't listen to anyone else. Ethan looked at her, this strange girl from the stars who risked everything to warn them. I trust you, he said softly. He placed his palm on the core. A soft click, and a deep voice filled the room. Human will accept it, sinking. His body jolted. A sharp pain shot through his skull, then vanished, and suddenly, he saw it all. Every Zorth ship. Their positions, their heat signatures, their communication, pulses. He wasn't just Ethan anymore. He was connected. He could feel Earth's fear. He could feel Lyra's hope. He could even feel the Zorth cold, calculating, emotionless. And he wasn't afraid. Not anymore. Commander. Rourke stepped back as the screens lit up across the base. Systems online, Earth defense grid, ready. Ethan, Rourke said. Can you control it? I think, Ethan said slowly, it's not about control. It's about understanding it. Lyra stepped closer. You're not just talking to a machine. You're talking to Earth's forgotten guardian. The A, I replied. Orders? Ethan took a breath. Target the lead Zorth ship. Power up pulse cannons. And wait. Wait? Rourke asked. Let them talk first, Ethan said. Let's see if they want peace, or if they only know war. At that moment, a massive symbol appeared in Earth's sky. Projected from the Zorth mothership. A single word blinked in red. KNEEL. And then another. Surrender. Earth froze. Billions saw it. World leaders fell silent. Nations panicked. Until... Finally, Ethan spoke. He sent one word back, not through text, not through language, but through intent. The AI pulsed his thoughts into the stars. No. The Zorth responded instantly. Black spears launched from the mothership. Giant rods meant to pierce the Earth's crust and ignite the mantle. Lyra screamed. They're not testing. This is full extinction. Ethan didn't flinch. His hands moved like lightning. Activate defense grid. Fire on incoming weapons. From old satellites, from buried towers, from hidden launch silos across the planet, beams of light shot into the sky. The first spear exploded mid-air, then the second, then the third. Earth had struck back, and this time, the sky shook in their favor. Rourke laughed in disbelief. We're doing it. We're actually doing it. Lyra stared at Ethan. You changed the story. No, Ethan said. You did. I just helped people hear it. For the first time in recorded history, the Zorth ship backed away. Far. Not in defeat, but in surprise. Teeth. And now the galaxy would know. But it wasn't over. The AI spoke again. They retreat to prepare. Estimated time until next wave, 72 hours. Ethan stepped back, exhausted. Rourke looked at Lyra. What now? Lyra's voice was calm, but firm. Now we teach your people how to fight stars. The Zorth said Earth had no future, but Earth whispered back through one voice. Watch us. 72 hours. That was all Earth had left. No one slept. No one rested. Across the world, nations that once argued now shared technology. Engineers worked beside soldiers. Farmers sent their iron tools to be melted into weapons. Every satellite, every ship, every hidden defense was powered up. And in the center of it all, Ethan, still linked to the AI. His body weakened, but his mind stretched across systems. He no longer needed screens. He felt every signal, every frequency, every heartbeat. Lyra watched him from the corner of the command room. He looked thinner, tired. She stepped closer. You need to disconnect soon. Ethan shook his head. Not yet. Earth still needs me. She looked down. You've already given too much. He smiled faintly. And you gave up your whole world for people who laughed at you. She didn't answer. Her glowing eyes softened. At sunrise, the skies changed. Zorth ships hundreds descended into the upper atmosphere, like black snow falling from space. No warning. This time, no message. Only war. Earth didn't wait. The defense systems fired first. For the first time in human history, Earth fought as one. Rockets launched from hidden islands. Satellites turned into orbital cannons. Old nuclear silos were converted into plasma towers using Lyra's stolen technology. Zorth ships fell, but not without cost. Entire cities flickered. With power loss, oceans boiled as energy pulses rained down. But still, Earth stood. Commander Rourke led strikes from an underground air base. His voice roared over the comms. We're not running. We're not kneeling. Give him hell, humans. Inside the core chamber, Ethan felt his body giving out. The AI warned him again. Human host nearing limit. Shutdown advised. He ignored it. I have one more command, Ethan whispered. Target the Zorth command node. Send everything. Lyra rushed to him. You'll die if you stay connected. Ethan looked at her. If I leave now, Earth might die instead. She held his face in her hands. You're not just a voice now, she said. You're our answer. With one last thought, Ethan gave the order. The AI lit up. All systems fired. All defenses aligned. One beam stronger than anything Earth had ever seen launched from space and tore through the sky like a god's blade. It struck the lead Zorth. Mothership. And this time, it didn't survive. The rest of the fleet paused, then broke apart, retreating, fleeing. The invasion had failed. Earth had not just survived, it had stood up. Ethan collapsed. The connection faded. For a terrifying moment, he didn't move. Lyra dropped to her knees beside him. Don't go, she whispered. Please. I believed in you because you believed in me. Then he opened his eyes. Barely. But enough to smile. You changed everything, he said. No, she whispered back, tears in her glowing eyes. We did. The war was over, but Earth was no longer just a planet. Now, it was part of the galaxy. And they would remember the day one girl crossed the stars to warn them, and one boy listened when no one else did. The end. Asterisk.